Good afternoon and welcome to Metal Bass 101. Today we will take a closer look at how you can use the electric bass guitar with an exciting new genre of music known as heavy metal. My assistant here has played acoustic guitar for a couple of weeks and he has learned a few, albeit not very metal chords, such as G major and D major. The good thing about electric bass in general and metal bass in particular is the fact that it's so easy to learn and master. You hardly need to practice or devote any time whatsoever to the instrument. Now, let's switch out his acoustic guitar for an electric bass guitar that he purchased at a ridiculously low price at a yard sale last week. The strings of the electric bass guitar are thicker and heavier than those in an acoustic guitar, so make sure that you always tell everyone that you meet how hard it is to play the electric bass, even though it's quite easy. Now, if my assistant would be so kind to place his index finger on the third fret of the thickest string and then pluck the note. Very good. Now play something that suits this catchy drum beat. Excellent. Now let's go to the string and play it. Very good. Now alter between the fretted note and the open string. Spectacular! You have now mastered the electric bass guitar and you're already one of the top 20 bass players in the country. When you are playing heavy metal music, it is important to be filled with strong emotions such as hate, anger, and sadness. To illustrate this, my assistant will now play the same riff twice. First, listen to this. Now my assistant will hit himself on the hand using this fine hammer. Please pay attention on how his tone improves after he has hit himself with the hammer. When it comes to metal bass, it is important to dial in a nice and perfect tone to match the guitars. Make sure that you use at least as much distortion on the bass as on the guitars, and take away some of the silly supported low end of the tone to really help the mix nicely. Ergonomics and correct posture are two of the most important aspects when it comes to playing a musical instrument. Let's start off with the right hand, which can be seen as the main motor of the bass. Should you decide to play fingerstyle, then make sure that you anchor your hand in the correct way to provide consistency in playing. The cutaway on the uppermost part of the electric bass guitar is ideal for locking your hand down. Sure, it makes it harder to reach those pesky D and G strings, but those strings are for jazz musicians, so there is no need to worry about them. Should you, however, decide to play with a pick, then make sure that you hold the pick with all of your strength and might so that it doesn't slip away. When playing with a pick, it is important to use as much of your shoulder and upper arm as possible. It's not fusion, damn it! Now that you have mastered both playing the instrument and playing with a correct technique and posture, it's time to head into the studio and lay down some sick-ass grooves. Make sure that you tune your electric bass guitar 1 to 2 weeks before entering the studio, and make sure that you assure the engineer that it was in tune when you did so. Do not change the strings before entering the studio. In fact, don't change the strings at all. Just think about what sounds more metal and true for a second. Clean, fresh, new, and bright. Or and there you go. If you, for some reason, should have a somewhat fresh set of strings on your bass guitar, it is easy to fix the tone by purchasing and devouring a big bag of chips. And remember, bass strings are expensive, which means that you will get less money to spend on more important stuff, such as beer and tattoos. And do not bother with learning the material before entering the studio. After all, that's why the engineer is there, right? This has been Metal Bass 101. Make sure that you do the exact opposite of everything that I've told you in this video, and you should be just fine.